Hey guys, welcome to the Positive Experience podcast, where we look at the good, the bad and the ugly in living your best life. Today's segment is on the H.E.A.D'S. The acronym stands for Health Experts and Disruptors. Let's dive in.
Hey guys, welcome to the Positive Experience. I'm your host today, it's Aarvi. And then today's segment will be on H.E.A.D'S, Health Experts and Disruptors. So we got my good friend Chris here. He's currently my Arakan Martial Arts teacher. So yeah, found him at the Fitness Expo, and then from there he's been training under him as one of the great instructors going around with that base. So before we get started, do you want to give us a bit of an overview where you were born, where you went to school, and set up like that?
Yeah, sounds good, Aarvi. Yeah, I was born here in Melbourne. I was born and raised here. Went to school at Parkwood Green Primary School, which is local to where I live at the moment. Went to high school in Taylor's Lakes, and then I studied at Vic Uni doing sports science before I did Arakan.
Oh, nice. So where'd you go to high school?
So I went to high school at Taylor's Lakes. Taylor's Lakes is pretty local to here as well. So yeah, public school, really close friends of mine that do Arakan now went there as well. So definitely met a lot of good people there, and is definitely still keeping contact, which is great.
Okay, nice. So you went to Vic Uni as well, which is good. Did a bit of sports science. They'll get into that a little bit later. But what's your current home setup? You living at home with family or single? Yeah, anything.
Yeah, so I have a girlfriend at the moment, living at home, but just on the move a lot. Like teaching involves me going from place to place, so I'm really mobile at the moment in terms of in and out of the house, kind of in passing with the family, but definitely still working hard, which is cool.
Yeah, great. So do you want to get a bit more into what you do for work and sort of give us that aha moment, so where you pretty much realized, yeah, I'm going to leave Vic Uni and I'm going to become a martial arts instructor?
Yeah, so a bit about my work. I've always been into sports. So when I was 16, I started doing basketball refereeing for Killer Basketball, and I was doing that for many years. And I knew I wanted to do something in the sports field. I just wasn't too sure what. And then that aha moment that you talk about, my instructor Jordan kind of said, you're kind of looking to go to uni, you're looking to do sports science, you're looking to maybe do teaching as part of PE, because I was kind of unsure. So I was kind of going into all these different ideas, and he goes, what, have you ever considered this? Have you ever considered doing Arakan teaching? I said, yeah, maybe. So I still went to uni to see whether, I wanted to do that over Arakan, but I realized I didn't. I tried doing a sports science course, which is more on the sciencey side. And I tried doing a PE course to try to get into teaching, and I didn't really resonate with both. They were great course, great school and all, but I felt like for me, Arakan was my calling all along. So yeah, that's kind of how it fell into play a little bit.
Oh, nice. So did you end up finishing those degrees, or did you just end up leaving halfway through?
Ended up putting it on hold halfway through. I got about a year and a half in. So I did a full year of one of the degrees, transferred over with the units, and then I started the second one before I opted to do Arakan full time.
Nice. That's good. So, and what I think you may have mentioned, but when did you sort of get into Arakan or get instructor? Was it 15 or something like that?
Yeah, so I started training when I was 16.
Yeah.
My friend kind of sold it to me, saying it was like street fighting. I'm like, huh? What's this street fighting thing? I'm gonna go try this thing out. So I went along as a 16-year-old, and from then I kind of never stopped. And then I think I knew I wanted to become an instructor when I was about 18 or so. That's when I kind of was put on the path a little bit.
Yeah. And then how long have you been an instructor for now?
I've been an instructor for a year.
Yeah, nice, cool. So do you I'm guessing a lot of the listeners don't really know what Arakan is. Everyone's used to karate or boxing, those kind of martial arts. Do you want to give a brief overview of what Arakan actually is?
Absolutely. So Arakan is a Burmese martial art that's never been for the ring. So, your karates, your boxings, they're more of a point-based style or a ring competition style. What Arakan was designed for was to be street applicable. So like if somebody grabs you, to get out of there as quickly and effectively as possible without having to go 12 rounds with them. So yeah, a lot of the strikes that we do, you know, are aimed towards the neck or towards the groin, towards the eyes to get you out of there quick. Because what we want is we want somebody who is smaller to feel safe and get out of there quick if a larger attacker is attacking them. So not relying on strength, but relying on body mechanics.
Yeah, nice. So it's a lot more street based, like you mentioned. There's no like real competitions going around, but it's just more to sort of, it's similar to like a bit of higher level self defense, I'd say.
Yeah, and the way we kind of train it, you know, as you know, Aarvi, it's a lot of situational based stuff. So put into those high pressure situations. So, you know, the instructor would get up in your face, or if you're in group, everybody's giving you a push around and you're under that pressure so that you know to respond with the Arakan under high pressure. So a lot of situational stuff, headlock, punch, grab, and then from there you kind of roll out the Arakan. So yeah,
great. Yeah. So, and me being in your class and undertaking sessions with you, I see that definitely like all the situations is based that it will happen in the real life. So it's sort of just getting you ready just in case it does happen, you know what to do. So I highly recommend for anyone that's just looking for like some self-defense or just want to get some martial arts or anything in. So it's a great way to go. And yeah, you start loving it as the more you get into it, because it relates with all kinds of martial arts. Like there's a bit of boxing feeding going on. There's a bit of karate base, everything. It all meshes into one. And then, yeah, it gives you a way to sort of give you a good start, I suppose. And that's what I'm finding at the moment. Cool.
Awesome.
So what's like at the moment, I know you like love your instructing or anything, but what's your main passion or like work that's like sort of driving you at the moment?
Yeah, so outside of Arakan, so this is my only job. I do this full time, but outside my passions, I like movies, I like TV, I like video games, you know, typical, you know, dude stuff, I guess. I like spending time with my girlfriend, spending time with my friends. Yeah, that's pretty much outside of the Arakan, but yeah, definitely Arakan is my number one passion. Absolutely.
Yeah. So what sort of like let's say you rock up to a class or you got group classes, what sort of gives you that drive to be like, yeah, I'm going to be energetic, I'm going to sort of do like how you sort of instruct your classes at the moment? What gives you that drive?
Yeah, just the passion and kind of like to help others, because this is serious stuff. Like I feel like everybody's here to kind of learn something. So if I don't give my best energy, my best effort, and they're not learning to the best that they can, then, you know, I kind of feel responsible. So every time somebody's in my class, I want to give the best version of myself forward so that they can pick up something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what kind of motivates me.
Yeah. I definitely see that when you're doing the classes, and I'm guessing you have to also get to know those heaps of your clients on a personal base as well, because when you do one-on-one sessions, someone may not be feeling all right, or someone's just got stuff going on, and then I'm guessing they sort of come to you in that aspect as well, not just martial arts based. Would you say that's true?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, the way we kind of pride ourselves on that, like we try to get to know each one of our students individually. So it's more than just that client relationship. We try to build more of a personal relationship with our students so that they feel comfortable training, because, you know, Arakan's a long journey, as you know, Aarvi. It's pretty technical, pretty long kind of way of learning it. It takes a while to get good at it. So, you know, if you don't have a good relationship with your instructor, then eventually you hit a wall. So just like with my instructor, we got a really good relationship. So, you know, I definitely try to do the same thing and build a relationship with my students too.
Yeah, I think that's what differentiates from like other places, getting to know people on a personal level. You're not just there in and out working for that cash money, but it's the stuff you do outside, like around the clock, just trying to get to know the person, send them messages if they're doing all right, just keeping up to date. And I think that just gets the people to come in more and get more engaged. So I think you do that really well, especially you being my instructor, which is great. So on that, so how do you sort of plan like your day or your week or your month even, like especially because you got a busy schedule with a lot of classes and stuff and you got to run around from like different locations?
Yeah, no, basically, you know, thanks for the compliment earlier, but yeah, with the scheduling stuff, just, you know, off a laptop or off a phone, like with the calendar app, kind of scheduling it out, color coding it so it's all laid out in front of me. And then that way, you know, you kind of open it up and go, okay, this is what my day is going to be. And then you go attack the day. So
Yeah, perfect. So it's all sort of set in stone before, and you just got to look at your phone, and it's all there. So yeah, do you have like a checklist or anything you got to do, or like when you do your lessons, is there anything that you sort of write down and you're like, yeah, we're going to focus on this, or is it all made on the spot?
It's more feel based.
Yeah,
Like, you have a general idea. Like, for example, if I was going to go into a lesson with you, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll work on elbows with Aarvi today. Then you kind of get into it. I kind of go off the way the lesson is going, the way you're feeling, and one single elbow might evolve into this crazy drill that I didn't even think about before. It's like, oh, how did we get here? But that's part of the fun.
yeah.
And
Cool.
because Arakan is so big, you can fall into those, rabbit holes really easily, where you start off doing an elbow, then you falls into like this whole technique, which is amazing. But that kind of unpredictability is like what the street is all about, right? Like, we don't know what's going to come at us. So we train these really big scenarios, and then we can kind of hopefully pull it off. So yeah.
Great. And then cool. So that's great. So you use like pretty much your phone and just schedule all your classes, everything in. So at least you know what's happening for the day, and that's how you sort of plan every day as you go on. So, which is great. If you were to give like some three hacks, could be anything, could be some martial arts techniques or something around the business, anything on a personal level, just anything you can sort of give to our listeners.
I'd say in terms of hacks, it's kind of hard to give like quick tips in terms of like martial arts.
Yeah.
The more you train, you realize there's no easy answer for anything, because like, you can say, oh, cover your head, but what if it's not that kind of punch? There's always a what if. There's always like, what if this punch? What if that punch? So I'd say generally though, if I could give any advice, is definitely do some kind of training. Even if, definitely, and commit to it. I say commitment is a big point. So if you're going to do a martial art, particularly Arakan, you're definitely going to stick at it. There's got to be consistency with your training. So that's definitely one piece of advice I would give to anybody that wants to start training. And then, in terms of practicality, if they're actually in the training, I would say, breathing and staying focused and staying in the moment, they're all important things as well, because you learn faster, but you also get the most out of it. If, people rush things, you kind of breeze over the techniques, you're not going to get as good as you can be. But these are all things that can relate to, everything from martial arts to the gym to football to soccer. So yeah, it's pretty general answer, but yeah.
Yeah, great. So that was good. So like the breathing aspect, I agree that you need that with everything you do, because breathing's like essential. If we don't breathe, we're not pretty much living. So just trying to get that inner aspect and just trying to learn how you sort of breathe and do it, especially when you go, I notice when I'm at the gym, the breathing makes a big part, and especially when we're doing some martial arts, just keeping the breathe gives it a flow a lot better and just makes like the body feel a lot more in sync. So I think that's a great hack that you mentioned there. Is there maybe just quickly I know there's a lot of punches and stuff going around. Do you want to just quickly show like last cover resort, as you mentioned, so people just can sort of understand, just in case something's happening, someone's coming in with what can you sort of do?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what Aarvi's talking about, guys. So a last resort cover is just a way that we cover our head, in terms of street context. A lot of other styles will teach you to keep your gloves up, which is amazing. I love boxing, so it's a really good way to do it. But just on the street, if your hands are small, you kind of leave a little bit of your ear open and the back of your head. So what Aarvi's talking about is when we cover an Arakan, we kind of cover it like an entering the phone position by grabbing the back of the brainstem. So it's kind of hard to do sitting down, but I'm grabbing the back of my head there. You're kind of hugging yourself there. It kind of protects you on the side. Then if it's a front cover last resort, like Aarvi's talking about, you want to kind of bring it in that way. So because you haven't got your gloves to protect you. So it's just little adaptations like that, that is what we teach in terms of street application. So, the more you train, you go, oh, that makes sense. It's a lot of common sense. Like, it makes sense when we say it, but it's just not common practice. So yeah, definitely. Good point there, Aarvi.
Yeah, thanks for that. So that's something for people just to sort of just get. So it's pretty much you're wrapping your head, wrapping the back of your head right there. So if someone does come, it hits there, and get that straight thing. And the other thing that I've sort of learned is always sort of clenching your teeth and sort of just tucking your chin underneath. So at least if you do take a hit, it's more the forehead or something that can take a lot more force compared to your chin or like your eye. So
100%. Yeah,
I've learned all these off Chris, so I'm just sort of spilling the beans a little bit. But all right, so do you have any sort of like any current personal war stories that you've had, or like injuries or setbacks? Could be like you mentioned, you sort of were in the teaching pathway and then you changed to like Arakan, but anything through Arakan or anything that sort of set you back that you can sort of relate to?
Yeah, it's a big one. I'd say probably the biggest one was getting sick not too long ago. I got a bit of a not coronavirus, guys, but I got before coronavirus hit. I got a bit sick, and it was really hard because I didn't really know how to manage my teaching with being a little bit sick. So just kind of overcoming that. But I'd say that, it's definitely important to look after yourself as well, because you can only do so much being on the road, teaching lots of students per week there. So looking after myself, making sure I'm getting enough sleep. I'd say that a lot of lessons that I learned, but also learning those off my instructors as well, because they've gone through similar things. That's a little bit. I was kind of lucky because I could learn off them, whereas they had to experience it themselves. So overworking, doing really long hours, not giving themselves enough recovery time, and getting little injuries like shoulder and knee and stuff like that. And that kind of taught me to be aware of it and kind of look after myself. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question there, Aarvi.
Yeah, it does. So you pretty much gave away the next point anyway. You sort of discussed like a key lesson that you sort of learnt. And I think you touched on it, like a bit of overtraining and just sort of looking after your body. I think that goes with everything you do, like even with myself at gym or like playing sport. If you don't look after your body, it's going to come back to haunt you, and you'll be out for longer than you expected. So when you were sick, was there a lesson that you sort of learnt? Like, did you stay a little bit further away from clients, or did you have less seeing less clients, or what did you do there?
Yeah, it wasn't anything that was like contagious.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like an internal thing. But what I learned was just to take the time. So like if I had an early wake up, take the time during the day to kind of relax and eat a good meal and that kind of thing, rather than be always on the go, like next thing, because then you never give yourself time to recover. Yeah,
Nice. So you just sort of broke down the day a little bit and just took it a little bit easier than you normally would. So that's probably, like you touched on earlier, about the overtraining and all the other things. So thanks for that. So we're going to change topics completely and just go a bit of quick fire questions. So I'll keep it quite simple. Do you prefer going like a beach, or do you prefer the rainforest?
I definitely like the beach.
Beach? Yeah, okay. What about if you're a night out or Netflix at home?
Night out.
Night out? Yeah, cool. What's your favourite kind of drink at the moment, if you're drinking alcoholic beverages?
Alcoholic beverages. Oh, that's a good question. I do like beers. Do you like wines a little bit, spirits? I'd say craft beers are awesome. Bolter XPA is definitely my go-to if I was at a party or something.
Nice.
Yeah, go with that.
Nice. So you like a bit of a splurge on everything. You're not like picky. So that's by the sounds of it.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the situation, right? Like sometimes it's a wine kind of dining setting where you're eating out at an Italian restaurant. Yeah, it really depends.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Do you prefer New York or Venice?
I don't know. I'd say New York probably.
New York. And have you been to New York or no?
No, I haven't.
Okay, cool.
I want to go there for sure. Yeah.
All right. Since you've been a city slicker most of your life and living in Melbourne, what would you prefer, like a country acreage or an inner city loft?
Yeah, it's a good question. Depends on the loft in the city, right? I'd say in terms of practicality right now, definitely the city.
Yeah.
Because I teach a lot in the city, so that would work really well with Arakan at the moment.
Okay, cool. And then, are you Ford or Holden?
Ooh, well, I got a Ford at the moment, so I got to say Ford.
Got to stick to your guns. So what are like top two things, since we're in this COVID sort of lockdown period? What are top two things that you sort of can't wait to do once we sort of the restrictions ease a little bit more?
Yeah, I can't wait to. I mean, because we missed out on Easter, we didn't really get to see the family. I kind of really want to see the family again, get together. Coming from a Greek background, we have a lot of awesome traditions that we do, like, get lamb and everybody makes food and kind of gather, which we kind of missed out on. So that's definitely one thing that I can't wait for come Christmas time. Another thing, I just can't wait for big group classes again in Arakan, because that's one of the best things is when there's 20 people in a group and you're training side by side other amazing people, and you know, you're able to share each other's energy. I just really can't wait for that to happen again. Really big groups.
Yeah, cool. I can see the passion in Arakan. All the answers relate back to Arakan. But on that, so pick, like, if you're able to pick one person that you're really following online at the moment, and someone like and can tell us like why you're sort of following. Can be anyone.
Yeah. All right. Well, outside of Arakan, of course, I'll try to keep away from it because I always go back to it. Big influences for me, Joe Rogan's a big one, you know, similar to the name of the podcast, right? The experience. So, you know, his work ethic, you know, coming from a background where he didn't have a lot to build up to the number one podcast in the world. I think that's really inspiring. You know, he's a fit guy. He's training every single day. He runs his business. You know, I kind of, you know, really inspired by his work. Yeah, that's probably the number one that comes to mind at the moment.
Yeah, definitely agree with his podcast there. Definitely number one and worth a listen. Every has some great guests that come on, and just the stuff he talks about. You can sort of relate on a personal level or on an elite level, whatever it's based. So that's good. So can you tell us something that you're sort of doing at the moment, so you can give like the audience a bit of an idea? Like, could be anything like Arakan based or.
Yeah. Definitely. So a little kind of thing that I've been doing at the moment, since gyms have been closed, I know they just opened up recently, but for the time they were closed, I was trying to really involve myself in the lesson with the student. So do the lunges with the student, do the run with the student, kind of keep myself fit on top of my own training, because that's something that you know, you can't really do unless, you know, you got a lot of time or unless the gyms are open, right? So yeah, just that. Also keeping sharp at home outside of my own training, doing my own Arakan when I can, and making sure I practice what I preach.
Yeah, definitely. It's, you got the great luxury to sort of join in with your clients and just join in, do lunges, do running with them. So it keeps you fit, and that way, both push against each other, I suppose. But so do you have any like seminars or promotions or like giveaways or discounts going on with Arakan?
Yeah, so good question. So the way we kind of operate, so if anyone wants to try Arakan martial art, we give a group class for free as a starter and a private lesson. So, you know, you can inquire on the website, arakanmartialart.com. You can message us on Facebook or Instagram, call up the Arakan office by Googling Arakan martial art. You can get in contact, and, you know, you can really, you know, try it out for yourself to see if it's for you. And then if you want to follow myself, you can do that as well. Directly message me on Instagram, Chris Kangalis Arakan. That's pretty much in terms of offer, you know, at the moment. Free trial to try it out for yourself. Yeah,
definitely. We'll put in all those handles and tags on the bottom of this podcast, so you can just click on it. We'll put on your Instagram as well, so they can click on DM you directly. So as Chris mentioned, you get like one free private lesson, and then you get one free group lesson. So that's quite a bit. That's just for you to just try it out. And if you like it, you keep going. If it's not for you, you part ways. So I suppose that's a great offer that you guys have. So I definitely highly recommend for you guys to try that out. So as I mentioned, I met Chris and someone else at the Fitness Expo about a year ago, just a bit over a year ago. And then, I took on that offer at the time, and I started to love it, and I thought, this is what I want to do, and we're still going. All right. So thanks again for your time in the chat. We'll definitely probably link up maybe in six months' time or something like that, and see where we're both at, and if we're still training hard and going. So thanks again for your time, and until then, take care.